Adda247 was built upon the promise of providing exemplary content and authentic videos on various competitive examinations, and we have succeeded to reach many who needed guidance and training. Extending our mission, we bring you unique video courses for banking and SSC exams. View, study and prepare anytime and anywhere. Now, government job in your pocket.
And a very warm welcome to Adda247, and here we are with another topic of conditional sentences. कुछ दिनों पहले हमने बात करी थी कि कुछ conditions होती हैं sentences में, and for that reason here we are with this topic, conditional sentences. Now everybody knows whenever we have a condition in the sentence, सबको पता है जब भी हमारे पास sentence में कोई condition होती है, we have two things. What? First thing that we have is if clause, and the second thing that we have is main clause. Now see, the whole part of conditional sentence is based on if clause and main clause. जो पूरा आपका conditional clause का क्या बोले concept है वो if clause और main clause पे ही dependent है. If the if clause contains present tense, what will be there in main clause? If the if clause contains past tense, what will be there in main clause? If the if clause contains past perfect tense, then what will be there in the main clause? So these are three questions that comes into mind when we ask about if clause or any conditional sentence. तो if clause क्या होता है? वो clause जो आपकी condition को express करेगा. The clause that expresses your condition to do something, to perform something, that comes under if clause. कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ जो कंडीशन फॉर्म करेगी कि ये काम तब होगा जब ये होगा, तो ये जब वाला जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो कहाँ आता है? इफ क्लॉज के अंदर आता है. और जो काम करना है, द वर्क डन कम्स अंडर मेन क्लॉज, राइट. सो फॉर दिस रीजन इफ क्लॉज हैज थ्री कंडीशंस. व्हाट आर दीज थ्री कंडीशंस? इफ द इफ क्लॉज इज इन प्रेजेंट टेंस, दैट व्हाट विल बी देयर इन द मेन क्लॉज? If the if clause is in past tense, then what will be there in the main clause? And if this clause, if clause, is in past perfect tense, then what will be placed in the main clause? So this is what we are here to discuss. If clauses, and if that if clause contains any of these parts, then what will be contained by the main clause? So let's begin with this, and the first condition that you have here is if your if clause is given in which tense? Present tense. Then the main clause will always be in future tense. अगर आपका इफ क्लॉज किस में है? प्रेजेंट टेंस में है, तो आपका मेन क्लॉज किस में होना चाहिए? फ्यूचर टेंस में होना चाहिए. देयर इज वन स्लाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट आई वांट टू गिव यू इज व्हेनेवर वी हैव इफ, व्हेन, unless, until, provided, these words given in a sentence, then in that case we never use anything apart from present tense with it. एक कंडीशन है जो हम आपको बता दें, जब भी हमारे पास सेंटेंस में इफ, व्हेन या कह सकते हो अनलेस, अनटिल, प्रोवाइडेड ये सब आता है, तो आप उसके साथ फ्यूचर टेंस नहीं लगाते हो, आप उसके साथ प्रेजेंट या पास्ट टेंस का ही यूज कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो हियर वी हैव इफ क्लॉज, एंड इफ क्लॉज इज फॉलोड बाय प्रेजेंट टेंस, एंड द फॉलोइंग टेंस शुड बी फ्यूचर टेंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई से इफ आई विल find her address, I will meet him. Now quickly tell me what should be the correct answer here. Okay, Avinash आपने बोला है in past perfect main clause would be in past participle. Very good, that's correct. But यहाँ पर बताइए, if I will find her address, I will meet him. What have we followed? We have the if clause given in this sentence. हमारे पास if का clause है यहाँ पर. जो if के साथ जुड़ा हुआ verb है, the verb attached with if should be in present tense. But we have placed will find here. So is it correct? If I find her address होगा. Very good. Very good. क्या होगा? If we have if clause in this sentence, the following verb should be in present tense. That means will find will be incorrect, and the correct sentence will be if I find her address, I will meet him. Now here the other part should be in future tense. That's absolutely correct. So if the if clause is given in present tense, if clause given in present tense, future tense will be used in the main clause. ठीक है? If I find her address, if I find, very good. Very good. If present tense, if find. Main clause, future tense, main clause, future tense. समझ में आ गया? This was the first condition related to this. Let's move on to the next condition, which says if clause has past tense. If your if clause is given in past tense, see, we will never attach future tense with if clause. If clause के साथ कभी भी future tense नहीं लगेगा. या तो आप उसके साथ present tense लगाओगे जो आपने पहली condition देखी, या तो आप past tense का use करेंगे, and this past tense will be past indefinite tense. ठीक है? तो इसके बाद जो आपका main clause आएगा, that will be would plus verbs first form. Would plus verbs first form. I shall write it here in case it's not visible. Would plus V1. तो क्या कह रहे हैं? अगर if clause past tense में है तो main clause में क्या लगेगा? Would plus V1 का use होगा. ठीक है, चलिए. Let's take an example for this. If I have money, would, rather I would lend it to you. Now quickly tell me, if I have money, I would lend it to you. Now here you will get two conditions. Here you will get two errors. So rather, let me write had. Now you will have only one error. यहाँ पर अब आपके पास सिर्फ एक ही error है. If I had money, I would lend it to you. Quickly बताइए. When we have if clause given in past tense, the main clause will be would plus V1. Quickly, very good. प्रियंका, अनुजा सबने बताया the would plus V1 ही फॉलो करेगा. यहाँ क्या होना चाहिए? Okay. If I had money, had money is absolutely correct. Had money आएगा क्यों? क्योंकि हमें यहाँ पर past tense को फॉलो कराना है. Now what? If I had money, lent it. Very good. I've got the answer. The if clause is given in past tense. Had money. मेरे पास पैसा होता तो मतलब यहाँ पे past tense represent कर रहे हैं. Past tense. The main clause is given over here and it should follow would plus V1. We have placed would, but lent is not V1. Rather, we'll write lend here. And the correct sentence will be, if I had money, I would lend it to you. ठीक है? Had, would have. Very good. Would have नहीं लगेगा. Please make this a point कि आप कभी भी जब past tense में दिया होगा तो would have नहीं लगाओगे. Past tense में would plus V1 का use करोगे. ठीक है? I would lend it. So the correct sentence is if clause past tense, if I had money. Main clause would plus V1. I would lend it to you. Would plus V1. Now here would can be used, could can be used, and should can also be used, right? So here in place of would you can write would, should or could. तो ये confuse मत होइएगा, confuse होने वाली बात नहीं है. यहाँ पर आप would की जगह should और could भी लगा सकते हो. So that will be correct. So current sentence, if I had money, I would lend it to you. So this was the second condition associated to if clause. Now let's move on to the third condition, and that says if we have if clause in past perfect tense. If we have if clause in past perfect tense, then our main clause will have would plus have plus verb's third form. Now here you write your verb's third form with have. अब यहाँ पर आती है जो आप would have वाली कंडीशन कह रहे थे, वो यहाँ पर कंडीशन फॉलो होती है when you have the if clause given in past perfect tense. अब जल्दी से बताओ कि हम past perfect tense में क्या स्ट्रक्चर फॉलो करते हैं. Quickly, past perfect tense में which structure is followed, which sentence structure do we use in past perfect tense? Okay. Yes, Amit, you are absolutely right. It's lend, lent, lent. Verb first form is lend, second is lent, third is lent. Lent verb's third form भी है और second भी है. जल्दी से बताइए यहाँ पर क्या होगा. Quickly tell me what sentence structure do we follow when we write past perfect tense? Had been plus would have, no. Had been. Oh, very good. Amita ने आंसर किया है that whenever we use past perfect tense, it is always used with had and verb's third form. Had plus V3 लगती है जब भी हम past perfect tense की बात करते हैं तो. So what happens is if clause is given in past perfect tense, then the main clause will be would have verb's third form. Let's take an example. If I had seen you, I could stopped the car. If I had seen you, I could stopped the car. अब बताइए what should be there? You have this if clause given over here. If clause is in past perfect tense. Had plus V3. Had plus V3. See का third form क्या होता है? Seen. If I had seen you. Now the sentence should be in would plus have plus verb's third form. Again, would, should or could can be used. Could have, stop. Very good. Very good. Ritpal Ghosh ने भी एक हमें sentence दिया है अभी and that sentence says कि let me check, just check. Okay, could have. Okay. इनका कुछ ऐसा सेंटेंस था if I had studied harder or something like that, I could have stopped the rating. Would have, could have. Very good. जब भी हमारे पास if clause है, we have if clause over here. Given in past perfect tense, past perfect had plus V3. Main clause will have would have V3. Could can be there. We do not need to change it. ठीक है. Could, would और should तीनों ही लग सकते हैं, तो हम could के जगह को चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं. could के साथ आप फॉलो करा सकते हो. Could is absolutely correct. Now we don't have here, so we need to place have, and after that we will place verb's third form, and it says if I had seen you, I could have stopped the car. Okay. So let's quickly take a review, or rather I would give you one more thing कि इसी sentence structure को you can begin with had as well. आप इसी को जब आपका if clause past perfect tense में दिया रहता है, main clause would have V3 follow करता है, तो इसको आप एक और तरह से लिख सकते हो. It says had plus subject plus verb's third form plus object plus subject plus would have V3. So what happens is had, subject, V3, object, subject, would have V3. यहाँ पर क्या होता है इस सेंटेंस में आप क्या फॉलो कराते हैं, हैड और V3 एक साथ लगा देते हैं। यहाँ पर भी तो आप यही कर रहे हो, हैड और V3 को यूज कर रहे हो, बस सब्जेक्ट पहला चला जाता है, यहाँ सब्जेक्ट पहले आ जाता है। यहाँ इफ लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, क्यों? क्योंकि हैड खुद ही एक कंडीशन को डिफाइन कर रहा है, राइट। सो हियर वी डू नॉट नीड टू प्लेस if. Why? Because if had is placed before the subject, it automatically displays a conditional sentence. Had subject V3 object, after that it's the same main clause would have V3, would have V3. So what happens is, if we want to write this sentence in this format, what will be there? Had I seen you, I could have stopped the car. Understood? Had given subject I, V3 seen, object you, subject I, would. In place of would you can also use could or should. Could have V3 stopped the car. Here is the condition when you have past perfect tense given in an if clause. Main clause will have would plus have plus V3. So you can either write the sentence like this: if I had seen you, I could have stopped the car. And if you don't want to write the sentence like this and you want to write the sentence starting with had, then you can also do that using had subject, that is had I seen you, I could have stopped the car. Had I seen, if I had seen. That's absolutely correct, Nidhi. जब हम लिखते हैं had I seen, that's equal to if I had seen. ठीक है? So here we end up with the conditional sentences. Now let's take some examples, and or rather let me give you some sentences and you will tell me what would be the correct sentence here, right? So the first sentence that goes for you is, if she had money, she will have lent it to me. If she had money, she will have lent it to me. Quickly tell me what should be the correct sentence here. If she had money, she will have lent it to me. Yes, संजीव सिंह, could की जगह should भी लगा सकते हो आप यहाँ पर. Quickly यहाँ पर बताइए जल्दी से क्या होगा. If she had money, she will have lent it to me. क्या होना चाहिए? जल्दी से बताओ. If I were a millionaire, that's also correct. Would have lent, okay. Would have क्यों लगेगा? आप सिर्फ had को देख के मत लगाओ. Had verb का third form भी होता है. Had is verb's third form, or rather I would say had is verb's second or third form. दोनों होता है. Had यहाँ पर it means, here had means taken. If she had money, if she or possessed. So what is it? If she had money, अगर उसके पास पैसा होता, अगर उसके पास पैसे की possession होती, that means it is given in verb's second form. So if it is in second form, what will happen? This is in past tense. And what did I tell you? When we have if clause given in past tense, the following should be would plus V1. Here we have written will have lent. Lent is verb's second and third form. So what is it? It's incorrect. What will we write? She would lend it to me. So why has it happened? Because the if clause was given in past tense, had verb's second form. The main clause will follow would plus V1, would plus lend. So the correct sentence is, if she had money, she would lend it to me. Okay? जिसने भी सही से आंसर किया, that's absolutely wonderful. Let's move on to the next sentence. It says, if he would have come to me, I would have given him the money he needed. Now tell me, what is the error here? If he would have come to me, I would have given him the money he needed. Now here you cannot write would have and would have together. आप दो would haves को use नहीं कर सकते हो एक साथ. यहाँ पर क्या होगा देन? if he would have come to me, I would have given him the money he needed. Quickly बताइए यहाँ पर क्या error है? Quickly. Now you can see we cannot use would have twice in a sentence. Would is given, have is given, verbs third form is given. Now tell me what should be placed in the sentence. Had come to me. If he had come to me. If he had come. Came. If he had came. No. Quickly बताओ क्या होना चाहिए? Came. Very good. जितने लोगों ने बोला है came, ये करेक्ट होगा या नहीं होगा ये आपको बताने की जरूरत है. V1, V2, V3. कम का 1, 2, 3 जल्दी से बताओ. कम इज अ वर्ब. कम का V1, V2 और V3 क्या होता है? V1 इज एब्सोल्युटली कम. V1 कम होता है. V2 केम होता है. व्हाट इज V3? क्विकली बताइए. V1 is come, V2 is came, V3 is also come. तो V3 came नहीं है, V3 कम है. यहाँ पर आपको V3 लगाने की जरूरत है तो हम would have come हटा देंगे. क्या सेंटेंस बनेगा? If he had came to me. If he had came to me, I would have given him the money he needed. जैसा कि हमने बताया था, अगर आपका if clause past perfect में है तो आपके main clause में क्या आएगा? would plus have plus V3. Now we had this in main clause. Main clause में हमारे पास would था, correct. have था, करेक्ट. V3 था, करेक्ट. सो इफ क्लॉज किस में होना चाहिए था? पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस में. हैड प्लस V3. तो यहाँ केम नहीं लगेगा. क्या लगेगा? कम का यूज होगा. एंड द करेक्ट सेंटेंस विल बी इफ ही हैड कम टू मी आई वुड हैव गिवन हिम द मनी. ओके, चलो. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट sentence and see what it has. It says, if the principal will make strict rules, the unruly students will come under control. Now quickly tell me, if the principal will make strict rules, the unruly students will come under control. क्या होना चाहिए यहाँ पर? Quickly बताइए. Had come होगा ना मैम? Yes, आशीष गुप्ता, वहाँ पर had come बिल्कुल सही होगा. शिवा प्रसाद ने बोला है आंटी आंटी कम होगा. हाँ जी, कम होगा. प्रिंसिपल मेक स्ट्रिक्ट रूल. वेरी गुड. शांतनु ने आंसर कर दिया है रिमूव. नवीन बाजपेयी ने भी बोला है कि हम विल हटा देंगे. ओके, ओमिट विल. ओके, देखो क्या बताया था. इफ क्लॉज, समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, इफ क्लॉज इज गिवन इन प्रेजेंट टेंस, and if this if clause is in present tense, your main clause will be in future tense. And what did I tell you? We will never write future tense with if, when, until, unless provided. हम इन words के साथ if, until, unless provided इन words के साथ हम कभी भी future tense का use नहीं करते हैं. For that reason we have if and will make will be incorrect. Rather what we'll write is makes. Why will we write makes? Because the principal is singular. So it happens, if the principal makes strict rules, the unruly students will come under control. So what happens is, if clause present tense, if clause present tense, main clause future tense, main clause future tense. Got it? Will remove होगा, लेकिन will remove होने के बाद ये make नहीं रहेगा. We will make it makes. ठीक है? तो if condition अगर प्रेजेंट टेंस में ही रह सकती है. इफ के साथ आप कभी भी फ्यूचर टेंस का यूज नहीं कर सकते. इफ विल नेवर बी फॉलोड बाय अ फ्यूचर टेंस. इफ विल ऑलवेज बी फॉलोड बाय ईदर प्रेजेंट टेंस और पास्ट और पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस. राइट? ओके, चलो, here comes your last question, and the last question says, had the river overflown its bank, flood would have come. Had the river overflown its banks, flood would have come. यहाँ पर आपको बताया था that the sentence that starts with past perfect tense, it will be followed by would have V3. Either you can write it like this with an if in the starting, or you can write it like this: had plus subject plus V3 plus object plus subject plus would have V3. Now, the condition that is given over here is according to the second sentence. Second sentence structure के according हुआ था. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो, what do we have? We have had, correct. We have the subject, the river, correct. We need to place V3, but overflown is V2. Overflown जो word दिया हुआ है, ये V2 होता है, ये V3 नहीं होता है, तो overflown is incorrect here. And if we want to make V3 here, what we can do is we will write overflowed. So the correct sentence becomes, had the river overflowed its banks, the flood would have come. Flood क्या हो जाएगा? No error, नहीं, error होगा. Overflown, there is a condition. Overflown, second form. Overflowed, third form. And overflow is V1. So now if we have placed had in a sentence, we need to place V3. अगर हमने sentence में had लगाया तो हमें V3 लगाने की ज़रूरत है. And V3 is overflowed, not overflown. Okay? So I suppose, देखो कई बार होता है, it happens that we have seen the words that ends with N, like given, taken. All these are verbs third form. But here the word ends with O and it works as V2 and not V3. V3 is overflowed and we need to place verbs third form with had. So the correct sentence will be, had the river overflowed its banks, flood would have come. Okay, so this is the last question. This was the last question in your session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I could see from your questions also, and I could see this from your comments also that you were much interested in it. I suppose आपको समझ में आया, और इससे related जितने भी आपके doubts थे if clause से related, अब ये I suppose clear हो गए होंगे. So starting with this, once again, if I say if clause, कहाँ use हो सकता है? तो if clause has three conditions. What are these three conditions? The first is present tense, second is past tense, third is past perfect tense. If we talk about the first part, it's present tense, the main clause will be in future tense. If the if clause is in past tense, the main clause will be in would plus verbs first form. And the third condition is, if we have past perfect tense in if clause, then we will have would have plus verbs third form in main clause. This can also be written as had plus subject plus verbs third form plus subject plus verb would have verbs third form. ठीक है, so दो तरीके से लिखा जा सकता है. I suppose अब एक चीज़ का ध्यान रखना, if के साथ कभी भी फ्यूचर टेंस का यूज़ नहीं होता है. if के साथ सिर्फ तीन टेंसेस यूज़ होंगे, either present, दूसरा past tense, past indefinite, and third is past perfect tense. तो फ्यूचर टेंस को कभी भी if के साथ, unless के साथ, when के साथ, until के साथ, provided के साथ, इनके साथ आप नहीं लगाओगे. So अब समझ में आ गया है. थैंक यू सो मच for watching this video. मिलते हैं आपसे अगले टर्न पे.
Adda247 was built upon the promise of providing exemplary content and authentic videos on various competitive examinations, and we have succeeded to reach many who needed guidance and training. Extending our mission, we bring you unique video courses for banking and SSC exams. review, study and prepare anytime and anywhere. Now, government job in your pocket.